Hi guys, this is Courtney, your Lexis research attorney. Just wanted to put together a quick video to talk you through some Lexis resources available for your real estate transactions class. It's actually one of my favorite classes in law school, so I was trying to remember back to what was involved, what the assignments were, but I remember the three main categories being buying and selling real estate, um, leasing, and then also loans. So I wanted to work through those three categories for some different resources that you have available on Lexis for you. So starting on Lexis Plus today, I wanted to highlight practical guidance. It's the second experience in our experience doc over here on the left. And this is where we have integrated all of our content that used to be on a separate platform. Lexis Practice Advisor is now integrated right in here, practical guidance. This is where you're gonna find all of those boilerplate forms, checklists, practice notes, walking you through that transaction from start to finish. So if we have real estate on our mind, we can explore this content by practice area. You can also go in by content type, jurisdiction, or industry, but just wanted to highlight the real estate practice area today. When we go in here, this is going to be broken down by tasks over on the left. You can expand any one of these tasks individually, or I like to just do this expand all up the top to open them all up. And I find that these tasks are generally organized in chronological order, if we want to call it that, from start to finish. So at the top, we have some commercial purchase and sales. And then at the bottom, we are going to have stuff related to foreign transactions, but then also foreclosures, the end of the process there. So what you can do then is you can narrow down on any one of these subtopics. So say I wanted to go into commercial purchase and sale agreements. I could go in by this larger topic to explore it all, or if I knew exactly what I wanted to do, I want to cut right past the letter of intent, due diligence, go right to that commercial and purchase and sale agreement. I can click there. And then what I have here on this screen are all of the materials that I would need to complete this task from start to finish. We have our practice notes here on this tab that we're on. Practice notes are going to be short articles written by practitioners for practitioners, walking you through what you need to do for this transaction. We're also going to have some blank forms. So these are going to be those boilerplate language forms that you can go in and put in your party specific information. We're also going to have some alternate clauses. So something you might want to take back to an existing contract to insert for a particular purpose. We have some checklists. These are great, just enumerated lists of everything you need to do from start to finish. Checklists can be helpful for situations where you already have a created form. Maybe it was given to you by the clinic or by your attorney, and you just need to double check and make sure you haven't missed anything. We then have some articles. Articles are going to be current awareness tools. So anything that's maybe breaking news, of particular interest at the moment, think COVID, a lot of this stuff you'll find under articles. And then finally, secondary materials. These are going to be snippets of secondary sources. So not every single source on Lexis that mentions, in this case, commercial purchase and sale agreements, just very relevant particular sections of a secondary source that they think it could help you better understand your transaction. So for this particular example, I'm going to go back to practice notes. Then these practice notes are organized alphabetically, so we could scroll through, and lo and behold, it looks like right here I have just a general non-jurisdictional commercial purchase and sale agreement. We could also narrow down over on the left by jurisdiction, or keep an eye out for any of these jurisdictionally specific forms right here. But the non-jurisdictional, if you don't have anything in your jurisdiction, works great 100% of the time. It's just not going to have some of those maybe local rules or codes built into it. So you'll have to be mindful of that anytime you might want to cite out to some local binding authority. But then when we go into this practice note, first thing we're going to see here is that it's current. So this is a living, breathing platform that we're on right now. Someone, in this case, Mr. Brian Eccles of Thompson Burton Law Firm, is in charge of making sure that this practice note is current with the changing laws, anything that you need to be mindful of. He has gone in and he's made note of that for you. When you go down here, then you're going to see it provides step-by-step guidance in drafting the key provisions of a purchase and sale agreement. And so it gives you a quick background in it, and then it walks you through identifying the parties, identifying the property, links you out to any other, again, explanatory or helpful information that you may need to complete this transaction. Then once you've learned a little bit more about this in this article, in this practice note, over on the right, you're going to find all of the related content that you would then need to complete this transaction. So we can go into forms, clauses, and checklists, and we're going to see here we have a form available, our commercial purchase and sale agreement form. When we open up this form then, you're going to see up here at the top a summary. Summary is going to give you a great intro into what to expect and also link you out into any other helpful information. Then as you go through this boilerplate language form, you are going to find, once you get past the kind of table of contents, built into this are going to be some drafting notes. So these are some things to keep in mind when you're working on a particular paragraph or provision in this form. You may also find, if I scroll back up to the top, that we have some extra optional or alternate clauses built in as well. Those are going to be highlighted in blue as you go through here. There we go. And these all optional or alternate clauses are going to be different terms that you may want to include, and then they will also have a corresponding drafting note that comes with them to let you know why you might want to include this alternate clause over the one that was originally built into the form. You can then download this form up here in a Word doc format. You can open on the right in a Word doc format. If you have any questions for the author, you can link out to them over here on the right. Now going into our leasing, let me go ahead and go back. And I'm going to go, now that I'm here, I'm going to use this trail to get back to the real estate module of practical guidance. And then I'm going to focus in on the leasing. So I could go, and again, I'm just browsing down, and I could go into any one of these specifically, or I could go into the just general, broader commercial leasing. We have everything here for us then organized by practice notes, forms related to everything leasing. So we could go into these checklists, and let's say we are dealing with a sublease. We could go ahead and we see in this particular instance, we have one that's going to be more favorable to the lessee, one that's going to be more favorable to the lessor. So we can choose depending on who our client was. Open up this checklist, and here we have an enumerated list of all of the things that we're going to need to keep in mind to make sure that we are crossing our T's and dotting our I's. Final thing I wanted to show you then, when we are back on the real estate pod, as I mentioned, you could scroll down by task, you could also go in by content type, but we have these fantastic resource kits over on tools and resources. Those resource kits are a one-stop shop. It's going to be everything you need, all the different things we've just looked at, tied up into a nice bow for you. So once we get into these resource kits, they're going to be, again, organized by alphabetical order. You could also focus in on the tasks over here on the left, but let's just open up this loan resource kit. Now, when we're in a resource kit, it's going to have, as I mentioned, everything we could possibly think about. We could jump directly to the loan commitment. It's going to link us out to practice notes or forms. Think of it as a page related to this transaction, whatever you're working on. So it's just a one-stop shop where we'll automatically link you out to all of those different practice notes, checklists, forms, everything that we just talked about to complete whatever you're working on. In this case, it would have been that loan. But I hope that's helpful for you to help get you oriented with that practical guidance pod. Please feel free. I encourage you, click around, explore. If you have any questions, please let us know. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your day.